Hey guys, it's Master RDF here, and welcome back to another video. As promised in my last video, we will be doing some zombies content today. So we're going to be ranking the 14 perks from worst to best in Black Ops 4 Zombies. So let's get started. Number 14, PhD Slider. Now, everybody was super hyped when this perk came back into Black Ops 4, because we thought it was going to be just like PhD Flopper, but like, you know, some kind of sliding mechanic. But no, they thoroughly ruined this perk. Not only did they not make it so that you are immune to explosive damage, they added resistance to explosive damage, so you're not even fully immune. You can still die from explosive damage, and yeah, you could say, oh well, you only take like 7 HP of explosive damage, but any damage that you take at all stops health regeneration. So if you were like trying to wait for your health to regen, but you also want to like shoot your Mustang's, like not your Mustang's, you know, the 2 revolvers that you upgrade, I don't remember what they're called, but you want to shoot those, or you want to shoot the fucking, what am I thinking of? You want to shoot the Winchester upgraded, you know, that thing shoots grenades. You can't, because you're going to stop your health regen, because even if you're taking a tiny bit of damage, you're still taking damage, and there's no health regen there. There's that, with the no explosive resistance, and then, or, you know, no explosive immunity. There's that, and then there's the sliding effect. The sliding effect is fucking doo-doo. I don't care what anyone says. Not only does it take 10 years to fucking activate, but it does nothing. It's so useless. The fucking sliding effect just does nothing to the zombies. And you know, the ray gun doesn't even work a PhD slider. It doesn't count as an explosive weapon for some reason. I don't know if that's a bug or whatever, but Treyarch just decided to not include the ray gun as a weapon that you were protected from a PhD slider. The ray gun's already shit in this game, so, you know, don't even get me started. But let's move on to the next perk. Number 13, Depth Perception. So, with this perk, it's not the worst, obviously, because I didn't put it at number 14. But I would not really consider it a very useful perk. It is, however, a very good quality of life perk. Like, when I do run it, I'm like, oh, thank you, I can see zombies everywhere. You know, I can see them through the walls, I can see where they're coming from when I'm running through the hallways of, like, classified or something. It does help. Like, it's a good quality of life. It makes me relieved that I have it. But I don't think it's worth the perk slot. There's so much. It's only down here because it's not good as a perk. It's just like a quality of life thing. I would definitely think it would fit as an elixir. That would make way more sense if it was some kind of elixir. But this perk is very effective in zombie rush mode. Don't get me wrong. When I say this perk is completely bad, because it is good in zombie rush mode. It definitely counts as a perk, and it's worth running in there because, you know, when you're in zombie rush, you're always moving through the map, and you want to know where and when those zombies are spawning and what you have to get ready for in the few seconds that you have to get ready when you're, you know, running around. So that perk is good there. Let's move on to the next one. Number 12, Stone Cold Stronghold. I do know that this perk is very popular within the zombies community right now, because I see a lot of YouTubers run it when I watch like commentary videos or live streams, and it is popular, so I know there's a lot of people that do like it. However, I personally think it's useless, like, at least for me. I don't think the maps are really built for it, because, you know, it's a very campy perk, and maybe if you have like 4 people, there are some spots on some maps you can camp if you all have it. Like if you're sitting in classified, you know, you camp at the classic spot where Jug used to be. I think it's the Cola perk spot, perk machine now that's there. I don't know. It's like right in front of the panic room. You just sit there, and, you know, it's good for camping there, I guess. But other than that, I don't think it's a very good perk, because I'm more of a training kind of guy. I don't really camp that much. If it was on the Giant, that would be awesome, because that's a very camping map. Or God forbid it was on Buried, as if that map wasn't OP enough or easy enough. That would definitely make it overpowered. But yeah, I just don't think it's very useful in the context of the maps that we have right now. Number 11, Winter's Wail. Now, I was a bit conflicted on whether or not to put this in front of Stone Cold Stronghold or not, but I decided to put it in front of Stone Cold Stronghold because I do find it has a bit more practicality as a perk, because I find myself using it a bit more. Like I said, when I use Stone Cold Stronghold, well, I don't use it. That's the thing. I don't ever find myself in a situation where I need to activate that perk. So Winter's Wail is just more useful in my opinion, even though it's still not that great of a perk, because at least I use it more often, you know? The only, like, real thing I don't like about the perk that puts it so low is the cooldown time. It's like 5 minutes, I think. I'm not entirely sure, don't quote me on that, but I believe it's 5-minute cooldown time for each charge. Now, you would think it's not a very long time, but 5 minutes is a lot longer than you think. And, you know, not only that, but you only get 2 hits. So when you do get hit twice, that's 5 minutes. You don't have an entire perk, and once you recharge your first charge, you basically lose it again immediately, because it's not very hard to get hit in zombies. It would be a lot better if they added it if you added that you get 2 charges. That would make it like so much better. If when it cools down you get both charges back, that would make the perk a lot better, and it would make it so that I feel like I don't not have a perk all the time when I run that. Because when I run Winter's Wail, it's like I get hit twice and okay, well, I can kiss my perk goodbye for like 5 minutes. But it is really good if you have Secret Sauce, because if you use Secret Sauce, you can get Winter's Wail, and then once you run out of charges, you just swap it out until your cooldown's done. So let's move on to the next perk now, shall we? Number 10, Mule Kick. Now, don't get me wrong. This is a good perk. It's not a bad perk. It's only low because every perk above it, I think, has way more practicality, and they're just better, in my opinion. This perk is very opinionated. You know, there's not much to say about it. It gives you a 3rd weapon. If that's your playstyle, go for it. Have fun. It is nice to run just if you're looking for a change of pace, because it's nice to have different weapon variety in your game. You know, you could run a sniper, shotgun, and wonder weapon, or you could run an LMG, wonder weapon, shotgun. You could run a bunch of different combinations. It's a really nice perk to have if you're just looking to play a little differently. Or, you know, if that's your main go-to perk for your strategies, like for your high round strategies, or just, you know, you're trying to level up, go for it. You know, it's really an opinionated perk. I happen to just like a lot of the other perks a lot more. So, yeah, that's really all I have to say about this perk. Number 9, Deadshot Dealer. Now, I know everyone hates Deadshot. I personally think it's very underrated. I know that the headshot snap ability is basically non-existent if you're using mouse and keyboard and you only have the reduced hipfire spread and reduced recoil. But that by itself is very good if you're trying to run and gun. Not only that, but the modifier makes it so that the more headshots you get in a row, the higher headshot damage you have. Or the higher damage you have, I guess, but it's basically just headshot damage, because once you don't get a headshot, the streak's over. So I don't run it a lot, but I do run it if I'm just looking up to change my strategy a bit. It's a good perk for high rounds, because like I said, the damage boost is very useful. But that's all I really have to say about this perk. It's not, you know, the most interesting perk, but it's definitely better than a lot of other perks. A lot of the lower perks I put in this list, I would definitely run it over some of those. So let's move on to the next perk. Number 8, Electric Burst. I really hate to put Electric Burst this low on the list, because in the older games, Electric Cherry was such a good perk. It was something that I loved having. It was just a nice little quality of life perk, because, I mean, not really quality of life, it was like a clutch thing, because you would, you know, if you're in a corner and then you reload, all the zombies get shocked, and there you go, you're home free. And it was good for tight maps, and I just, for some reason, I know a lot of the maps in BO4 are tight, and they do call for Electric Burst, but I just think a lot of the other perks that I put above this one are a lot more worth running. And I also personally just find that Electric Burst doesn't work very well for me. I don't know why, but I find it not shocking zombies like a lot of the time. I know it says the emptier your gun, the stronger the pulse is, but I still, not even with that, I don't find the perk ever really doing anything. The faster reload that Treyarch added when you have all 4 perks active, that definitely helps. It helps the perk be a lot better, because you can trigger it a lot more often. But other than that, those are my thoughts on the perk. It's not the best, it's not the worst, it's kind of mediocre. Number 7, Secret Sauce. Now, I think that right in the middle of this list is the perfect place for this, because this perk is very varying, because it's random. It can either be really good or really bad. You can either get what you want immediately, or you cannot get what you want after like 10 hits, and that's like 15,000 points you spend. But the reason that this perk, you know, somewhat has a high place on the list is because, you know, 1, you can get perks you want for cheaper, and 2, you can swap out perks. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but when you do buy a perk with Secret Sauce, if you decide you don't want that perk anymore, you just go up to the machine and hold your interact button again for 1,500 more points. You can just switch it with another perk. A lot of people don't know that. You don't have to go down to lose it and get another one. You can just swap it out, and that's really good for if you're running perks with cooldown like Tying Wish or Winter's Wail. it's really good for just, you know, once those perks are on cooldown, get something else while you wait. Because for some reason the cooldown still goes on while the perk isn't in your inventory anymore, I guess you could say. They could definitely balance it by making it so that cooldowns don't trigger when you don't have the perk on. But I hope they don't add that because I really like that ability. Number 6, Victorious Tortoise. I like this perk a lot. I don't run it too often because the perks that I have above it are still perks that I would rather run more than this. But I do run it every so often. When I play Rush, I always run this perk because it's really good for training. And Rush is a mode that you always have to be training on. And basically what it does is it makes you invincible on all sides if you have your shield out. That's, you know, that's awesome. You're basically invincible, and the shield's not that hard to get another one for. And you can also heal it if you can now heal the shield if you pay money at the buildable bench. You don't have to wait for it to be destroyed. But it's good for training because you can just run through without worrying about getting swiped or anything. And even if you do get cornered, you can just bash your way out with the shield. And yeah, it takes a lot of the health away, but you can not lose the shield. Sometimes you get lucky, or you can lose it and the shield explodes, because this perk makes the shield explode when it breaks. It's awesome. This perk is awesome. It's really good for high rounds, and yeah, that's all I really have to say about it. Let's go on to the next top 5 perks. Number 5, Quick Revive. I love what they did with Quick Revive in this game. They definitely made it way more useful in solo, I guess you could say, because they got rid of the thing where it self-revives, and they made the self-revives default. You get 2 self-revives each game instead of 3. Now it's 2. That's just how they balance it. That's fine. But you would think, oh, that was my Xbox. Sorry about that. You would think, oh, what are they going to do to make this perk more viable in solo? Well, glad you asked. They made it so that you regenerate your health like butt ton faster, and that's so good if you're training, because you know how like when you're training you get swiped every now and then, and sometimes you might get red screened, and if you get red screened you have to worry like about not getting hit for like the next 5 seconds because it takes 10 years to regen your health. But with this, if you get red screened, it takes like 2 seconds to get your health above 50. And once it's above 50, even if it's 51, if you get hit again, you don't go down, because you take 50 damage per zombie hit, and that's awesome. This perk is definitely really good for high rounds and is good for training. Let's go on to the next one. Number 4, Time Slip. I absolutely love this perk because it's not really like a perk that gives you like a super in-game advantage. It's just a nice quality of life perk. It makes the box hits faster, it makes Pack-a-Punch faster. I guess it does give you an advantage in terms of traps and grenades, because it makes the traps cool down faster and it makes your grenades cool down faster, and that means you can use your Wraithfire a lot more, and the Wraithfire is the most overpowered piece of equipment in the game. So it's really good for high rounds because you have the traps. If you have maps that you use trap strategies with, you can run Time Slip. And, you know, you can use the traps a lot more often. If you're training as a strategy for high rounds, you can throw your Wraithfires a lot. You don't have to use a lot of ammo. And not to mention, Treyarch, for some reason, added it so that you have to Pack-a-Punch your gun 5 times from base to get max damage on it. I think that is so dumb because it takes 10 years. You have to do 5 times on each gun. So you have to just sit there and Pack-a-Punch over and over and over and over. And sometimes the Pack-a-Punch isn't in the best spot for you to be able to survive in, like on some of the Blood of the Dead spots. But yeah, Time Slip makes it so much faster because you just Pack-a-Punch it and it's ready to go, like right away. And you just do that like 5 more times or 4 more times with each gun. And it just goes really fast. And it also is good for spamming fire sales because you can open the box over and over, so it's good for getting wonder weapons. It's just a nice quality of life perk. Number 3, Stamina. I absolutely love this perk, and I feel it is definitely a must-have perk in some maps, because while you do have a limited sprint in BO4 now, on zombies you have sprint fatigue, so after a little bit your sprint just gets really, really slow, and Stamina definitely helps counter that. It makes you a lot faster. You still get slow if you don't have it in your modifier slot. That's why if you put it in your modifier slot, it is overpowered. You have constant full sprint, and you never get slowed down. You're just always running super fast. It's great for training. You can zoom past the zombies at lightning speeds. You don't have to worry about getting swiped. It's just an amazing perk. It's a nice little quality of life thing because, you know, you have to run around the map so many times to do shit. You know, when you get set up, if you're doing an Easter egg, stamina up on the modifier slot definitely helps. If you don't want it to put in a modifier, that's fine too. Just the extra movement speed is really nice, but I personally would put it in the modifier slot every time I run it because of the unlimited full sprint. Number 2, Dying Wish. This perk is absolutely mandatory. If you're playing on solo, this perk is 100% mandatory. There is no reason you should not be running this perk on solo. Co-op, it's still really good on co-op, but it's not as useful because in co-op you have unlimited amount of downs if your teammates can pick you up. But in solo, it's a free down. Like, why would you not want that? I mean, I'm not saying that you're a fucking idiot if you don't run it. I'm just saying that I personally think it's a really good perk and it's basically a must-have. And you know, if you're a high rounder that plays on solo, that free down is just so useful. It's so good. Number 1. Bandolier Bandit. Oh my goodness. I was so conflicted on whether I should put Dying Wish or Bandolier Bandit at number 1, and I decided Bandolier Bandit should go to number 1 because it has more practicality in both co-op and solo than Dying Wish does. Because Dying Wish, like I said, isn't the most useful in co-op because you still have an unlimited amount of downs on co-op. It's only like really mandatory on solo because it helps add more downs to your limited number of downs. But Bandolier Bandit is good in any situation, no matter what. It's free ammo. Think about it. What's everyone's favorite power-up in zombies? What's the one power-up that you just fucking jizz in your pants when you see? Max ammo. Duh. Ammo is so scarce in zombies because you blow through it in 2 seconds. It's so easy to go through all of your ammo because you're always shooting something, you know? You're always shooting something. You're always shooting zombies. Your ammo depletes in, you know, a lot faster than you would think. By the time you get to high rounds, you're gonna need a max ammo like all the time. And Bandolier Bandit, it makes it so much easier because you have that extra bit of ammo. It's good for wonder weapons. You don't need max ammo as much on wonder weapons like the Winter's Howl or, you know, the Blundergat or that Scorpion gun on 9 or those the weapon on Voyage. I don't remember what it's called, but it's really good for wonder weapons, and it's also really good for weapons that already have high ammo capacity like LMGs and you know, some SMGs, because the higher I believe it increases your ammo by a certain percentage. I don't know how much, like 20 to 30%. Gives you like 20 to 30% more ammo in stock, and since it's a percentage, that means the more ammo you have in quantity, and like at base, the more ammo it's going to give you because it's a percentage. It's not a hard value. So yeah, that's my list. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope some of you at least agree with. I know no one's gonna, you know, completely have the same exact list as mine. You know, maybe there are some people out there who have the same exact list as mine. I'm not sure, but you know, leave in the comments what your list is. Leave how you would change my list a bit. You know, give me your opinions. Give me some feedback on the video. I want to hear all your guys' thoughts. I want to hear everything you have to say. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, whether you agree or not. You don't have to, but you know, if you enjoyed the video, a like would definitely help because then I would know how well this type of content's doing. I want to know if you guys are enjoying this type of zombies content, and I want to know, you know, if it's attracting people to the channel. So, you know, if you enjoyed it, whether you agreed with my list or not, don't forget to leave a like. That would mean so much to me. Leave a comment, you know, give me your list, give me some feedback, and yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.